Welcome back, my dear wild one. If you're here, it's because something in you recognizes the wild woman, the one who whispers in the dark, who stirs when the world is too quiet, too obedient, too small. In our last episode, we began with Lilith, she who was first, the one who flew instead of submitting, the first woman to say no and mean it, the first exile, the first rage, the first return to self. I'm Mariana Portela, your guide into today's episode. We will dig even deeper because Lilith didn't just leave the garden, she descended into the places most of us have been taught to avoid, into the forbidden, the untamed, the terrifying, honest parts of the female self. She exiled herself by the Red Sea in the desert among other exiled outcast creatures, the serpents, the owls, the crows. She dug deep into what we call the shadow. So let's start with this. The shadow is not evil, it is simply the parts that have been denied, hidden, repressed, or exiled in ourselves. The shadow in the feminine, the female shadow for women, does not look like a polished priestess or a white robed healer that speaks calmly and wisely. This shadow, she's in the blood. She's the blood covered birth mother. She is sometimes a jealous sister. She is the one who screams. She's the one who wants. She's the witch who curses after she's being wronged. She is the woman that will not smile when she's asked. She's the grief that no one makes space for. I sure haven't made space for my grief, not enough. She's in the female sexuality that does not cater to the male gaze. The shadow is the female body that bleeds, leaks, ages, and desires. So Lilith is not a shadow because she's evil. She is shadowed because she refused to perform in the way that was frankly wrongly demanded of her, because she told the truth, because she could not be controlled. So I want to talk a little bit about female rage. Female rage usually comes from injustice. Lilith's rage isn't mindless violence. It is a sacred fire. It's the fury that erupts when someone has been silenced for too long, when pleasure is denied, when boundaries and bodies are violated, when the soul is shrinked, it's made to become small. I felt Lilith's rage in my own body, the clenching of my jaw, the fire in my womb, the shaking in my voice when I tried to be polite and small, but something ancient inside of me refused. So let me tell you a story about this. Over a decade ago, before I was a storyteller, before I went into this path, I was stuck in jobs that really sucked my soul and did not respect me as a woman being. I found myself in situations where I was constantly overgiving, overperforming, trying so hard to be calm, to be the good one, to be the understanding one, a nice girl for my bosses and my coworkers. But underneath, I was simmering. And one day, a tiny moment, a comment made by a coworker, a man, of course, set something off. He asked me if I was PMSing, and I was talking to him very normally, very assertive, and I told him to, screw himself. But that comment set something off in me. I found myself crying and laughing at the same time after that interaction. I went into the bathroom and I looked in the mirror and I didn't recognize myself. I didn't recognize my own face. My body was holding years of silenced anger. So the next day I went into a ritual. And mind you, this was not yet a regular thing for me. I was not in this path yet. So I lit black candles. I played some drums. I put the recording of drums. And I screamed, not at anyone, but for myself. I screamed so hard. And afterward, I felt clear. I was not calm at all, but I felt clear. Lilith had arrived, and I left that job soon after. This part of the path is not easy. You will meet this rage in therapy. You will meet her in breakups, in those moments when you've said yes too many times and then you finally erupt. You will meet her in ritual, when the candle won't light, when the tears fall fast, when the spell you're trying to make becomes a scream. You meet her in your monthly blood. PMSing is no joke. You will meet her in your bones, in the mirror, on a day you don't want to be seen. So ritual and rage. Ritual isn't always tidy. Sometimes it's clawing your way through silence. Sometimes it's dancing barefoot with rage. Burning letters that you've never sent. This is a good one. You just write a letter and burn it. So here are some suggestions on how you can invite that sacred anger in. Not perfectly, never perfectly, but with presence, with real presence. So journal like with no filter. Just write down whatever comes. Scream into your pillow. Say those things that you always swallow into the toilet. I'm not kidding. Just scream in the toilet and flush everything out. Go run into the woods. Dance to drumming. Either you drum or you put some drumming music and dance. And let your rage lead you to your truth. One other thing is remembering you are not alone. Lilith is not alone in the shadows. She walks beside other mythical and archetypal divine women, her sisters. Medusa, whose rage turned men to stone after she was violated. Lilith dances with Kali, the goddess of destruction and liberation. Kali's love looks like obliteration. She waits at the crossroads with Hecate, torch in hand, inviting you to choose your own path. I'll be dedicating episodes to each of these shadow sisters. Who calls to you most? Medusa, Kali, Hecate? Tell me, because I'd love to know who you want to meet next, further on this journey of this podcast. So these divine women, they are not villains. They are thresholds. So every time you enter the truth of who you are, even if when it's messy or too much, you seem like you're too much, you are walking their path, the path of the shadow. There's a reason Lilith is associated with the dark moon, because it's the phase when nothing is visible, when everything is new, is gestating, is being prepared underground. It's great. She is not a goddess of light. She's the guardian of truth in the dark. So if you listen closely, if you dare to sit with what brings you rage, with what hurts, what you've been denied, what you've judged in yourself and in others, you will find her there. She will not scold you. She will not be mad at you. She will sit beside you. Wild hair, fierce eyes. She'll have a smirk, like she has a little secret. And she'll say, welcome back. Are you ready to stop pretending? So I have a suggestion of what to say. And you can do your own version of this, of course. On what to say when you need her guidance, her energy. Just remember to approach Lilith with the utmost respect, always. So here it goes. Lilith, dark mother, witch of the wind and wombs, you who rose with dust still clinging from your skin, teach me to speak without apology. Guide me to the room where I keep my too muchness. Sit with me when I am not pretty. Bless my rage, my grief, my truth. Let us remember the garden you chose to leave. This week, I invite you to court your shadow. Not to fix it, but to witness it. To honor the things that you have buried. Ask yourself, what am I afraid that others might see in me? What emotion do I not allow myself to feel? What parts of me have I been taught are too much? Let Lilith walk with you. She will not ask you to shrink. She will not let you lie to yourself. She will hand you the torch and she will give you wings. And when you take it, trembling or proud, she will smile, a very good smile, because you're coming home. With fierce love and a little holy fire, I'm Mariana, and blessed be. I hope you'll be here next week.